Hello, 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 hello. And that'd be right. I'm being all smart and then I'm not actually quite ready. So, welcome. I'm back again. Welcome people of Facebook. Welcome people who love writing. And today's topic, and I'm going to do something a bit clever today. I'm actually going to try and share this in the group at the same time because I can multitask. Even though it's a bit boring for you to kind of look at the top of my head while I'm doing it. But what I really want to share with you today is something that, I don't know, it seems completely obvious and it seems completely intuitive, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is not intuitive to people, and sometimes they're not even following or listening for or looking out for or thinking that there might be some intuition there. Okay, here we go. Now, so I hope you are excited about this topic. Here we go. Because, as you might have seen by the, as you might have seen by the title, oh my God, this takes a bit of time. Here we go. Okay. It's all about writing about what you're passionate about, and that is like super important. Okay, I mean, the group that I have and what I am actually passionate about myself is writing a book that sells, because I really don't think, no matter how important your message is, if your book isn't selling, if it's not getting out there, then it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. So I think being able to write a book that sells is really important. And I'm passionate about sharing the techniques I know as a conversion copywriter and bringing those to the world of authorship. That's what I'm really passionate about. So, but there are other things I'm passionate about. Like most of us, we're multi-passionate people. But the thing is, if you write a book and you have pure strategy and no passion, I don't think that's a particularly good way to go either. So there's no point kind of researching the market and then kind of really dryly coming up with, well, this is the best topic because, you know, that's what my market research shows me. I don't think that is a good idea either, because writing about what you're passionate about is important for both you and your readers. Now, I'm going to give you a great example here, and this is what I'm writing about at the moment. Okay, it looks a bit scary. I've just come back from a drive, and if I go for a drive, I always like to take my green smoothie with me. I have been passionate about green smoothies for probably way before they were fashionable. I was on that bandwagon 15 years, I think. I've been drinking them almost daily for that length of time. There's probably been a few months here and there where I kind of, you know, for one reason or another stopped. But yeah, 15 years pretty much. So it's definitely one of my big insider secrets as to how I remain healthy, don't tend to get sick. If I do, I bounce back very quickly, and I guess have more energy than most people of any age, let alone most people my age. And if you don't know what my age is, well, there you go, that's because of these. Anyway, that's kind of an aside. The point is, it was funny, when I was writing my last book, I did a chapter on green smoothies, and I just went boom when I wrote that chapter. I just, like, it just, you know, flowed out of me. There was this massive download, and I was like, this is a bit more than a chapter. Like, I'm gonna have to rein myself back in here before I have an entire book. And then I was like, you know what? It is an entire book, and maybe that's what my next book should be. And so sure enough, guess what my next book is? It's going to be all about green smoothies. And you might think it's hard to find 35,000 words to write about green smoothies, but believe me, when you're passionate about something, it's not hard to find that, you know, enough material to make a book. And that's kind of my number one point, why it's important for you, because you're going to be writing this book for 35,000 words or 25,000 words or whatever it is, hopefully a bit more than 15,000, which you can get away with writing a book that's 15,000 words, but it's, you know, it's a little, I reckon. But you can get away with it. So at any rate, however many thousand words, you need to be passionate about it for that length of time. Otherwise, it's going to be, look, put it this way. It's hard enough staying motivated when it's a topic that you're crazy mad passionate about. I can hardly imagine what it might be like if it was a topic that you were doing purely on the basis of market research. I think that would make it not much of a fun project for you. That's the point number one. Point number two, if it's not fun for you, it's probably not going to be fun for your readers. And I know reading a book is not sort of meant to be some kind of fun experience, but if there's no joy there, that does come across. It really does. It comes across in your writing. And if you're forcing it out and you're trying to pad the book to kind of, you know, fit a certain amount of words that supposedly you're meant to have in there, then it's going to feel like that from the reader's perspective. So that's the other reason why it's not a good idea. So I think just being passionate about your topic is important. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today, because I just realized as I was whipping up my morning green smoothie, and if you want to know, this one is really heavy on the parsley. It's got a little bit of Tuscan kale in it, which is the long black purple strap kale, which I really love. Anything that's really dark green is always super good because it's full of, it's even more nutrient dense. But it's got a lot of parsley in it, which is just flat leaf parsley, and the fruit, it's got a lot of oranges in it. I mean, it's got a few other bits and pieces. I always tend to put lemon and ginger in my green smoothies because I just like to have a bit of zing to it. So yeah, there's those as well, but that's pretty much it. So if I'm going for a drive, it's a must. I have to have a green smoothie with me. I mean, unless it's just like a 2-minute drive, but if I'm going for a drive for anything more than 10 minutes, I have to have a green smoothie with me. It's more important than my water. I mean, it's in exchange for my water. And if I'm going on a long drive, like I've done the Sydney to Melbourne a few times, or the Sydney to Brisbane, and for those of you who don't know, that's a long drive. That's it's not the same as crossing the United States coast to coast, but it's over 1,000. I think it's about 1,000 kilometers actually. I think each way. I think Sydney's, yeah, it's about 1,000 kilometers. Let's say it's a 10-hour drive. So you know, you either do it, and I always do it in one hit. I've done it multiple times over the years because I've got family in kind of both areas. And I always do it in one hit because, except when I used to travel with my son where we did stay the night, but 10 hours driving, and I wouldn't even stop for lunch because all you can eat is just the crap from a petrol station, which is just, you know what, stuff that you wouldn't want to eat. So I'd just bring a ton of green smoothies with me. I'd have to stop to wee a few times, that's for sure. But the green smoothies they would give me the energy. They wouldn't make me feel heavy or lethargic, but they also wouldn't kind of make me buzz. So yeah, that was my trick, and it's my trick for doing anything, whether it's like doing a full day of lectures, giving or receiving them, you know, both ways. I've got my green smoothie on hand. So it's just like it's my cure-all for energy. But when I work with my clients, it's my cure-all for anything, for digestive problems, for thyroid problems, for skin problems, for sleep problems, for appetite problems, for craving problems, I'm always going to point them in the direction of this green baby. And I love it because it's made from nature. This has got no additives in it. It's got no, like, I had to go to the shop and buy, you know, some packaged powder or something. And I love that it's entirely unprocessed except by me and my blender. And I love it because it's incredibly cost effective. Pretty much, you know, anyone can afford this. You just need to be buying some fresh fruit and some greens and you are on your way. So it's very cost effective. It's got no additives, no processed anything. And I know because I made it from scratch. And why else do I love it? Oh, I don't know. I've ever since the very first day. So I'm going to tell you the green smoothie story. So if you're not interested in green smoothies, this might not interest you. But this started for me when I went and visited a friend in Brisbane, Nikki. So I went up and stayed with her, and she said, "Oh, I've been invited, or we're going to this talk tonight, and you know you should come along." Well, I was staying at her house, so clearly I was going to come along. And it was a talk given by this woman called Victoria Butenko. And if anybody knows Victoria Butenko, you will know that she is the green smoothie kind of, she's the person who paved the way. Anyway, so she gave a talk about, she's a raw foodist. And I was like, this is out there and I'm not interested in this at all, but I'm going along anyway. But what they did at the end, she didn't talk that much about green smoothies, even though she actually had an amazing book on the topic. She was more talking about raw food. But at the end, her son and daughter, who were like grown-ups, had made, in front of us, they made a green smoothie, and they gave us all like one of those little, taster glasses of it, tiny little taster cups. And I thought, oh, well, whatever. And after I tasted it, I remember it had pineapple in it. That's all I remember. And so this is like 15 to 18 years ago. I don't know, 15 at least. Anyway, I just went, my mind was pretty much blown. I went on the way back from the airport. I bought a blender because I knew either if I had one, I knew it wasn't going to handle it, or maybe I didn't even have one. I can't remember. So on the way home from the airport, I bought a blender because I was like, this is my life now. Like, I am now going to be making green smoothies every day. And I have ever since then. So when something just triggers for you and you go, this is meant to be. Well, green smoothies was like that for me. So that is my green smoothie story. So then I used to sit at Parkley markets where I used to do iridology consultations, and I used to see all sorts of people, the kind of people that go to a Sunday or a Saturday market and like are just wandering around to buy cheap knockoff t-shirts and like just waste the day, not coming there for an iridology consultation. So they'd stumble across me and I would be green smoothieing their brains out. I'd look at their eyes and I'd obviously give them a quick on the spot assessment of their iridology and their health potentials. But then what I would do, almost without fail, I don't think there was anyone that I didn't give advice on green smoothies to, and they used to just look at me like, this is weird. Well, that was going back 10 plus years ago, 2008. Yeah, 10, there you go, 9 years ago, nearly 10 years ago. And so they used to look at me really weird, and I remember the day that the market started selling kale. Now you can buy kale everywhere, but back then in Australia, certainly not around me, you couldn't buy kale. And as soon as they started selling it at the markets that I worked at, I was just absolutely beyond myself. So why am I telling you this? What has this got to do with green smoothies? Well, tell me, I'm passionate about it. Can you tell that I'm passionate about it? This is why I'm writing a book on it. This is my suggestion to you. Write a book on something you're passionate about. Bring that passion to your pages, because that's what's going to connect with your reader. That's what's going to want people want to turn the pages. So no matter what the topic is, you need to find your passion on it. Don't just write a book because it seems like the right thing to do. And if you are interested in getting started writing a book and you want to get that first draft of your book written, then I think you're going to love what is coming up. with the 30-day author bootcamp. Now, go along to kylieansett.com/30 days and 30 day 30 DAY, and that's where you're going to find all the information about the course. It's 30 days, obviously. It's a boot camp. It's to help you get that first draft written, get it out of your head and into the world, because I know for so many authors, not only identifying what the book's going to be about, digging in, finding that passion, identifying their ideal reader, identifying what their angle is going to be, all of that stuff, I'm going to be bringing that to the training. It's going to be 30 days of boot camp. This is going to be something that you need to do the work. So it is going to be run live, as in it starts on the 20th of October and goes to the 20th of November. So it's 30 days. That might even be 31 days. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going for that length of time. And at the end of that length of time, what you will have in your hands is your first draft of your book. Now, if you've never done this before, this is going to be amazing, because it will... it is an incredible feeling to have that sense of completion, that sense of accomplishment. And even if you have done it before, we all know the motivation it takes to kind of get that train, get it going. And that's what this boot camp is all about. It's like going to the gym every single day. You will see results at the end of it. You will be motivated to take daily action. I am going to make sure of that. I am going to be your ass-kicking coach who's going to make sure you take action. But at the end of it, what you will have achieved will be perhaps something you've never done before, or maybe something you haven't done in that time frame, or maybe something that you would think you should just put off. And we know from experience, when you do that, you can just put it off forever. So that's what is coming up. It is the author bootcamp, the 30-day author bootcamp. It's going to get your writerly butt into action. And I would love to see you there. I'd love to have you part of it. I'd love to work alongside you and help you to get that book out of your head and into the world. And you know you need to do this because the world needs your story. So right now, bye.